Well, in episode 626 of the Barcelona podcast, brought to you by the Blue Wire Podcast Network, I'm Dan Hilton, and I am joined by Alex Delmas, former footballer turned analyst for eSport 3, Gold TV, La Vanguardia, Cot Radio. We could just do the whole show about the places you are, Alex. You're a busy man this week, and I thank you so much for joining the show and taking the time.
Hi Dan, it's a pleasure for me to be here with you and with all of you. So yes, my days are very busy, but with a lot of football. So we love this sport, and this is a nice thing.
Yeah, it's a good kind of busy this week because, I knew I needed one of the best in the biz to continue to recap El Clasico. And I know everyone knows. I can't imagine you listening to the show and you didn't watch the game or you haven't seen a recap or whatever. The 4-0 win over Real Madrid at the Santiago Bernabeu. And I'm going to start with the word that the big pundits and all the ones who don't really care about Barcelona week to week, they just show up for El Clasico. That's the only match they care about and all that stuff. The word that we keep hearing is offside. Or if you want it, offside trap. I think that's the conversation tactically that all of this is about. Madrid were offside 12 times in the match. Barcelona forced 77 offsides between Sevilla, Bayern Munich, and Real Madrid. The next closest to them in that same time, 77, was Brighton with 35. That is insane to think. That is crazy. That is loco. It's unbelievable. Now, the only question I really have about that offside tactic that seems to be just perfecto, do you think there is something that opponents like Real Madrid, a second time if they meet again, can learn when this offside trap stops working? Or do you think that this offside trap is something that Hansi Flick can continue to do to win trophies this season?
Well, both things, both things. First of all, this is a main, or well, I think that the main point of this Barça, of the Hansi Flick Barça, this is this is almost perfection aspect, tactical aspect, and this is a point. First of all, what I have to say, or what we have to have clear is that this is a point that helps a lot to the team to be a compact team, to be a very energetic team. So, but this is a risk. So it has a point of risk. But Hansi Flick or the Hansi Flick Barça, it's conscious about that, about this risk, and but the benefits are so high than the risk that it is productive for the team, and this is a very important point. This is the first point. The second point is that mentioned that Barca are doing perfectly or almost perfectly this type of this practice, and the third point is that you mean that if it is a good thing to continue with that or no? I think that it has to continue with, because the results are there and because the team are used to do this, and it is a good thing, no? So it's not this. It's possible that the opponents learn also to attack this type of line. So it is a possibility, but Barca has to continue with that because this is a characteristic of Hansi Flick way to play football.
Yeah, and I don't think we're talking about just a high line. We're not just talking about that back four. We're talking about the entire team as a unit. And I think to me, that was the big difference because you look at XG or expected goals and all the different advanced metrics here. The big difference in watching that match from Barcelona to Real Madrid was the press. Barcelona from Lewandowski and Lamine Yamal and Rafinha all the way back to that back line playing the high line, including Iñaki Peña and his good decisions, which we'll get to later on, in a second. But between Barcelona and Real Madrid, the Barca press was, again, right where it needed to be. Rafinha is tremendous at pressing. Casado is tremendous at pressing. Pedri has always been very good at pressing when even not in a unit. And Fermin Lopez is pretty good or getting at least good to be in the spots where he needs to press those center backs. I thought on the other side, when Barcelona had the ball, was where Real Madrid kind of failed Ancelotti this time. The bigger issue to me, I think, in the game was Real Madrid's press. And it reminded me when watching Mbappe and Vinny Jr., because Ancelotti, instead of pressing with a midfielder in Valverde, as they've done in the past, where it's Mbappe the 9 and Valverde being the 2 in the 4-4-2 to press, instead they did Mbappe and Vinny Jr. But Vinny Jr., very much like Messi and Luis Suarez, near the end there, and I know people don't want to hear this criticism, but, those two didn't necessarily press all the time together, right? A lot of walking for a lot of Camina for Luis Suarez up top there at the end, and that's okay for the press of how old they were. But for Mbappe and Vinny Jr., they weren't pressing together. And sometimes when Vinny Jr. would press on his own, he didn't clog up or he didn't get in the way in any of those passing lanes. So Kubarsi often had both Koundé to the wing, he had Castado in front, unless Camavinga, one of the other midfielders, was pressing Pedri and Castado, or he could go to Inigo Martinez. So there was always multiple options for the center backs because that Mbappe and Vinny Jr. press wasn't working. And then Real Madrid, they were trying to defend so narrow, which would be fine if Barcelona wasn't continuing to move. And I mean, you were a former footballer, you were a former forward. How important to the high line and the back line is the movement up top of those forwards, and how good were Lewandowski, Rafinha, and Lamine Yamal to just be options when Barcelona had the ball constantly?
Yes. It's a lot of difference between the two pressures or the two habit pressures between Barca and Real Madrid. First of all, yes, you say it perfectly. Real Madrid, the first line of Real Madrid, it's not a good pressure line. So Mbappe, Vinicius, even if there is Rodrigo or Henrik, it is not a worker pressure line. So in modern football, in nowadays, it is impossible to have a good pressure or an efficient pressure if your first line is not efficient also. So this is the first point. Then the second point is at the opposite of Barca's practice, Real Madrid is not used to press as a team. So they don't have the need to press as a team in the 90% of the matches that they play. So it is impossible to do it good in a great match if you don't it or if you are not a good pressure team in the rest of the matches. So this is a great difference. In the Barca's part, you mean also the Barca part? It is important to mention that high line is very important to pressure well. If you have a line very high, you have a compact team. Your distances are close, so the efforts and the efficiency of every movement of Barca players are better and are a high average to be efficient or to recover the ball. So this is the second point. And then there is a third point that I don't know if you notice it, that Hansi Flick has changed the way to press. Because the first line or the Barca first line, it's not composed by Lewandowski. If not, it's composed about the two wingers. So Rafinha and Lamine are the first players that pressure the opponent build up. No, so Lewandowski, it's not in the first line, it's not in the second line. So the Barças achieve to have two very good pressures because Rafinha is fantastic, it's amazing in the pressure. You mentioned it. Also Lamine because it's good also in this, and then reduce the efforts of Lewandowski. So the great scoring numbers of Lewandowski are relation with this, with this type of the less effort that he are doing in the pressure. So this is a couple of small details that makes that Barca are very efficient in their pressure, in the high line, in the recovery, in the attacking way. So it is like a almost perfection of facts that make that Barca nowadays are very efficient in all the phases of the play, in attack, in defense. So it is a team very difficult to defend for all these facts I commented. The the type of pressure, the high line, the compact team, the very reduced distances between the all of players that allow to be very efficient in defending work, but also to combine with ball. So this is a very important point: the distances and the different ways to play that has this Barca nowadays.
Yeah, you brought up two really, really good points that I like. One, I talked about Real Madrid defending narrow, but they were defending narrow vertically from their forward line all the way to their back. So they're defending narrow, but again, that let Barcelona have that space on the wings that Balde and Koundé were using the ball with. On the other side, Barcelona were defending narrow but horizontally on the field. So they were keeping the spaces in between themselves very close by. And that's by playing that high line. That means that if they're going to be in time together and press as a unit, they're going to turn the ball over for Real Madrid with two or three teammates in close proximity every single time they either turn Real Madrid over, or when they lose the ball, they have two or three teammates within a few yards or meters to get the ball right back with them. And then the second point, I want to credit, it's a YouTube channel called Football Made Simple. And he had that point about Lamine Yamal. We don't think about him as so good at pressing, but the details is how Hansi Flick has fixed this. When Lamine Yamal presses Lunin or from Mendy, he makes a curled run. So when he makes that curled run to press the goalkeeper or the center back, he has that pass cut off from Mendy. And to go to that point I just said about Vinny Jr., when Vinny Jr. went to press Kubarsi, it was very straight. It was very just A to B, right? Because the job is the press. Whereas opposed to the run that Lamine Yamal makes, just that little detail of how your winger presses can improve your pressure, or it can keep you with having some issues. I want to ask if just a few players, you could talk about a few players and what they meant to that win yesterday. And this could be short answers, long answers, whatever. Alejandro Balde, people have been questioning him this season, but he dealt with Jude Bellingham, who people wanted to win the Ballon d'Or last year. We don't talk about that. But then, Bellingham kept coming inside and making Balde defend him there. And that left Vasquez as the open man. But Barcelona, I think, kind of counted on that just like Mendy is not, he's a good left back, but he's not one of the best in the world. And the other side, Dani Carvajal is gone, and Luis Vasquez isn't Dani Carvajal. And I think Barcelona kind of banked on that. So, yeah, what did you think yesterday about Alejandro Balde? Because for all the criticism of a 21-year-old who just turned 21, he dealt with Jude Bellingham. And, I mean, how good, or what made his performance so good?
Yes, very interesting. And you mentioned a lot of things, a lot of interesting things. First of all, you mean that that Barca was very narrow, and this is a great advantage also in defense, in a defensive way, because Real Madrid, it's impossible, or when a team is very narrow, it's impossible that the opponent puts players between the lines. So the players that normally receive between the lines, and he has a lot of talent, are very difficult to defend. So Barca, or this Barca, being so narrow, disactive, no, switch off the possibility of have opponents with great talent between the lines. So this is the first important. Then you mentioned the curve, the art, or the pressure art because it's a little bit hard, no? That Lamine Yamal and Vinicius. Yes, this is because I told you before, because Real Madrid, it's not a worked team in a pressure. It's not used to be pressure. So these details are not, they don't not consider these details and are very important, because when Lamine Yamal makes this curve to pressure Lunin, he are this is impossible that Lunin contact with Mendy. So with one player, you are pressing two players. So this is an advantage also. The advantages in football are not only with the ball, if not without the ball, with the defensive. So this is a great difference, because Lamine Yamal stops two players only with this curve, and Vinicius going directly uh, didn't stop anything. Didn't stop no player, because Cubarsí has all the options and all the time and all the space to contact with the winger. So this is not efficiency. And finally, you mentioned the name of Alejandro Balde. Yes, great match and great season. Um, Really, people don't say about it, but or don't remark it. And one of the great changes of this Barça, it's Alejandro Balde, because the previous season he was not available for a lot of matches, and this season it is playing very well and playing all the matches. Yes, this is a Balde. He is a very good winger, or very good wing, defender in the wing.
Yeah.
Uh, Doing offensive football, no, or in the offenses always, since he was a child. He is very good in the attacking things, but he has also improved a lot in the defensive part, and the Clásico, it's the best proof in that. He was very good defending Bellingham. He was very active with a lot of energy. He makes he made the assist to the second goal with Lewandowski. Uh, he complete a fantastic performance, and he is in a very good way. So it is one of the key points of this Barça, I think.
Yeah. All right. A few more questions, kind of rapid fire here. Iñaki Peña this week, I thought that Szczesny should have started if he was ready, but Hansi Flick knows better than me. That's why he's the manager of Barcelona. Has Iñaki Peña now earned the right to be the regular starter in the
Yes.
big matches this season?
Yes, definitely, in my opinion. And not only you, Dan, I think that everybody here in Barcelona also, we think that Chesney has a high level comparing to Iñaki Peña. But I have to mention another time Hansi Flick, because the confidence that the coach has demonstrated to Iñaki Peña, for me, it's key to explain the great performance of Iñaki Peña in Clásico, because it is like the goalkeeper notice it, and and has made the mental click that needed to be a good or a great goalkeeper and a great performance. From Iñaki Peña here in Barcelona, the people that like me are very close to the team, the people who work with him, or the coaches, the goalkeeper coaches, the physical coaches, always say to me that It's a great goalkeeper, that in the training seasons, in the training days, the his performance are magnific. It's spectacular. But when he goes to the match, he has a little bit a mental problem or the pressure or something like this. So Hansi Flick has the ability with this confidence to make this click that that allow to Iñaki Peña that makes the same performance in the Clásico that in the training. So nowadays are no reason to to make Iñaki Peña out of the team, and I think that he will remain there, and I think that the Clásico it could be an inflection point. It's
Mm-hmm.
an inflection point
Yep.
for him and for the team. Yeah.
All right, let's go on the other side. Again, I'm kind of rolling through the players now. Robert Lewandowski, he has scored, again, 2 goals from 4 shots yesterday, now 14 goals in the Liga. 11 of them, now you had this stat, congratulations to you on this, 11 of them came on a first
Yes.
touch. At 36 now, he's the oldest player to score a brace in El Clasico. The only other top 3 that he's behind are Puskas and Di Stefano by a few days. So he's the oldest Barcelona player to score a brace in El Clasico. Now, again, you're a forward. You understand from Lewandowski last season to this year, he's just better. It's better. And you're in Barcelona, you're around the team. ¿Por qué? Just simply why? How? ¿Cómo?
Yes, how we are in front of this magnific Robert Lewandowski. No, I think that there's some explanations. First of all, here in Barcelona, people talks a lot of physical state or physical moment of Lewandowski. This is true, or could be true, but with Xavi, the work, the physical work was also good. I think, in my opinion. So, in my opinion, there is footballistic reasons between that. One of them, it's what I commented before, that it's to reduce the offers. Hansi Flick has reduced the Lewandowski efforts in the pressure, so he's focused on the attacking practice. He's focused to the smart, to shot, to I don't know, to be very quick in all the movement. So this is a very important point. The other important point is the way to play of this Barça. That, as you know, this Barça has a great combination between the control play, or the control way to play, to football play, and the verticality. So to a lot of shots, a lot of crosses, a lot of second plays. So it's not simply thing that Barca are the team that shot that has more or with a huge average in shots for match in La Liga and in Europe also. So this is a thing. This is a point very important for Flick. He he invite to the players to do that. So, and this is a thing that Robert Lewandowski, it's perfect for him, because it's the team, it's a lot of time in the area, or more time in the area. And then these details that you commented, that you has seen in my thread, that he is using very well the first contact this season, more than the previous seasons. So maybe because he feels better, maybe because his physical state is better, whatever you want. But 11 from 14, it's a great average of shots at the first contact. And Why it is important? Because the first contact, it's impossible to defend for the opponent. Impossible. If you make a control and then a shot to stop the forward. But if you do this in one contact, it's impossible. So it's more difficult, yes, really, that's true, but it's impossible to defend. And Lewandowski is a great forward in shooting, in all of types of remarks.
Yeah, I also think he's been better with his back to goal this year by far than he was last year. And I think to your point, having him not be the top of that press and having him be able to drop in and the wingers pressing for him is giving him a lot more energy too. He's not working so hard by pressing up at the point of that attack. All right, three more things here. News of the day, the Kopa Trophy. Barcelona has now won the Kopa Trophy 3 times in the last 4 years. It was Gabi, well, it was Pedri, Gabi, now Lamine Yamal. He becomes the youngest player in history, by the way, also. This might even be more impressive than the Copa. He becomes the youngest player in history to be included in the top 10 players in the world in Ballon d'Or voting. And I know that's just a popularity contest. That's why I don't care about the, yes, congratulations, the roadie, whatever, da-da-da-da-da. But the fact that Yamal is the first player under the age of 18 to win that trophy, given the best U21 player in the world. Again, you've been around Barcelona for a long time. You know, again, personally, a lot of the players that came up through the academy. I guess to say, from what you've seen of Lamine Yamal, what does it look like just to kind of keep him where he belongs in the step of stardom? You know what I mean? As he becomes a star, he's 17, right? And so how do you just keep him on that path to stardom? And just how much better can he even be than he is right now already?
Yes, Lamine Yamal it's a special player for me. It's well, as you said, has been the best under 21 player in Europe or in the world. But for footballistic level, in my opinion, it is the player that are in the best moment nowadays. Better than Mbappe, better than Vinicius, better than Bellingham, better than whatever. So that's true. He has 17, so we have to be a little bit of. We have to be slowly with the opinions but for me it's not doubt it's no doubt he will be Ballon d'Or. He is the differential player nowadays. He makes the difference, and he will make more difference in the future. Also, I think that the Euro Cup, to win the Euro Cup, and the importance of Lamine Yamal in the Spanish victory, I think that it's very important to explain the upgrade of Lamine Yamal this season, because last season when Xavi makes him, or when Xavi gives the opportunity to play, it was a special player, of course. It was, and all of us saw this, no? But this season is much more better. I think that it complete the last step to be a great player. So this is nowadays unstoppable, because he has demonstrated that he has the ability to support the pressure, also the great pressure of the first level. So yeah, Barça in La Masia players, or in La Masia young players, has a treasure, but in Lamine Yamal especially has a great treasure. So he will make more difference in the future. So there is no doubt that the future of the team has to be constructed in around him.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, we spend all this time also talking about Lamine Yamal, by the way, and the other 4 guys who won or on the stand for the Copa were Arda Güler, Kobe Manu, Savinho, and the 5th was Pau Cubarsí, who's
Yes.
also 17.
Yes.
So if we didn't have Lamine Yamal, we would spend all of our time talking about the other 17 on Pau Cubarsí, which I don't have time to talk about today because I want to kind of end this conversation. And real quick before that, just a credit to Aitana Bonmati. She also won her second straight women's Ballon d'Or. Caroline Graham-Hansen and Salma Parallo finished second and third, meaning Barcelona had the first, second, and third in the Ballon d'Or voting for the women, which, again, you go back to that magical moment. Iniesta said it. The most proud thing he ever did in his career was standing on that stage with Messi and Xavi and himself for the Ballon d'Or voting. And so Aitana Bonmati winning her second, 25 years old, 26 goals, 18 assists in the quadruple season, following Alexi Putellas, who also won it twice in 2021 and 2022. Barcelona Femení also picked up the Women's Team of the Year award for the second year in a row. Just real quick, give me, just the muy rápido about just Aitana Bonmati, just how good she is and how exciting it is in Barcelona and in the city to have the women as good as they are too.
Yes, it's a great thing. It's spectacular, and it's fantastic that the Barca woman performance during these years. The club has pushed a lot for the woman for woman football, and there are the results. So, in concrete, if we talk about Aitana Bonmati, that it's probably the best woman player nowadays. It is. I always say about Aitana that this is complete or the more complete football woman player in the world, without any doubt.
Yeah.
Because he's very good attacking. He's very good also in the defense, in the pressure. He's almost all the matches in a good state to play. So there's no injuries, no no excuses, never. He has grown in Barça in the Woman La Masia, so he has the feeling also of this club, and even of this, he makes also the difference with goal and assistance. So he is a very complete. She's complete. Player, and well, in my opinion, nowadays the best. We could talk also about Alexia or Graham Hansen, that they are also very good players. They also make the difference, but in my opinion, Aitana is a point, a high point, no? So so it's fantastic. It's fantastic for Barca, and as you said, we have a little bit the image of Xavi, Iniesta, Messi, and nowadays we have with woman players. And who knows? Maybe we have another time this image, this in men football with Lamine, Scubarsi, and this type of young players. Lamine for sure. I have no doubt.
Yeah. Well, I would say, with the Femení, especially the women's Femení, as again, the Messi, Xavi, and Iniesta stuff to remind you, don't take it for granted. Enjoy it. Enjoy what's happening with the women's football, because it doesn't come around. You have such good players all on the same team at the same time. I said, I thought Caroline Graham-Hansen in almost any other year would have won it, but if not for Spain doing so well with Aitana Bonmati and Parallo, I think the Spain accomplishments over the summer helped that out. Okay, last thing, and then you're good. You're going to be good to go. When I think a lot with those who came up with the Pep Guardiola era, a lot of talk is about, I'm putting quotes around this, Barca way, right? What the Barca way is, Barca DNA, and those kind of terms. To me, after watching the team for 25 years, the one thing that I say that I know exists is that if Barcelona have a more dominant midfield and they win the battle in the midfield, then it feels like they're playing the Barca way, whatever that is. I just know that if you win the midfield, that you're playing in the way that I know Barca to be playing. And there was a big choice that Hansi Flick made in that game. Pedri and Casado against Bayern Munich. I don't know if you'd heard me say this, but around the 21st minute, he pushed those two higher, into higher spaces up the field, and that changed the whole reflection of that match against Bayern Munich. Now, against Real Madrid, Barca it was 0-0 at halftime. Things were looking okay. Barcelona could have won that match, kept keeping on Fermin Lopez. He wasn't doing anything wrong, but Frenkie de Jong enters the team. Now you have Frenkie de Jong, you have Casado, and you have Pedri. So from the first half to that second half, how did Frenkie de Jong change that game against Real Madrid in the second half?
a lot, because it was two different matches with completely tactical things, or different tactical things. What is the explanation? Bayern Munich has the defenders, the Kim Min Jae and Upamecano, that are the central, or the central defenders. Uh, that always goes with Robert Lewandowski movement. No, if Lewandowski goes down, then the defenders goes with them. So what provoked this? Provoked a lot of Spain's in the back. In the back was as Barça. No, so the Fermin Lopez characteristic in doing this type of careers, in a space careers, makes a lot of interest, and he did a lot of damage to the Bayern, but not with Madrid, because Madrid, as we talked before, there is a very undefined team, especially in the defensive part. So the defenders don't go with or didn't go with Robert Lewandowski. Sometimes yes, other times no. So the Fermin Lopez main characteristic, it was switch off only for this. So the match requires not Fermin Lopez profile, if not a Frenkie de Jong profile, more midfielder profile. So this is the reason because Barca improved even more. Because I agree with you. The first part, Barca was not bad, but was not so higher that demonstrate in the second part. And the explanation is that because with De Jong, with Pedri, with Casado, and then with Dani Olmo, uh, they made an average, or they made more stronger the midfield. So with more passes, more control. Well, it was better, and it was the reason that Barca makes a great second part.
Yeah, and you had kind of said this too, that against Bayern Munich, because those center backs are so reactive and respond so much to everything, you needed a player like Fermin Lopez to be in between, the forward three and then the midfield two, and connect all that together. But because Real Madrid were mucking things up playing narrow with Camavinga, who was very good in the first half, that you needed an extra midfielder. And that allowed Pedri to make the third man runs. You didn't need Fermin Lopez to make the third man runs. It was Pedri who moved forward to make those runs. And then Casado was still, the guy has lungs, just solid, strong lungs, and just ran for days and had a good performance himself. Casado did. Okay, I took so much of your time. So I think the best thing to ask you would be, ¿Dónde puede la gente encontrar tu trabajo? So again, you had to speak in English this whole time, so there's a little bit of Spanish. So yeah, tu trabajo.
Okay, well, first in English, people could find my works, my threads, and all of these, and my collaborations in Twitter, of course, in Alex Delmas 10, and also in Instagram. So you are invited, of course, and will be very welcome to join. And in Spanish, as you know, me podéis encontrar en Twitter, en Instagram, en la cuenta Alex Delmas 10. Y estáis más que invitados, y seréis más que bienvenidos. So that's it.
Yeah, again, for the Spanish speakers, you can find him everywhere at Esport3, Gold TV, Cat Radio, and so many other places.
Yes.
So, and for me, next Sunday, I think I might do other work this week, but if not, versus Espanyol in that Catalan derby, 10:15 a.m. East Coast time. So 9:45 on the YouTube preview show. on YouTube. That's a live stream. And then 10:15 over on Big Up for the watch along. I appreciate everyone joining me there. Again, Patreon, Twitter, Instagram, close Facebook group, Discord. You know where to find us. Subscribing to the YouTube channel as well. There's a lot of new people to the channel. So that's why I had on Alex to talk about El Clasico. And again, just enjoy. Disfrutar. So just enjoy it, have some fun. And Alex, so much for your time. And so thank you so much, everyone listening to the Barcelona podcast. Until next time, we'll talk to you soon. And Forza Barça.
Forza Barça, it is a pleasure for me to talk with you.